Once we returned to Vincent's office after our lengthy mission, I sat down in a chair and I took a load off. But only a few moments later, a notification sounded on Vincent's device. He looked down at it and cocked his head to one side, and then said, this is quite interesting. Well, it seems we have another job to do. We have a delivery that needs to be made. And it needs to be made to, well, it's going to be a troubling place because I cannot go with you, as the rules of the universe does not allow me to go there. But I do have a foil there. He will be able to help you. He looks a little bit differently than I do, but he does have the same name. I looked at him a little perplexed, and then asked, okay, where do I have to take this package? He looked at me and smiled. I'm glad you asked. It's a little place known as Volgoth, I believe it's pronounced. Very unusual place, much like my homeworld where I originally came from. But that's another story for another time. But as a fair warning to you, this realm that you'll be heading to is a little more, how shall I put this, primitive in many ways. You'll also find that magic is real in this world. The thought of this actually made me quite excited. I was always into such things as Dungeons and Dragons and high fantasy, so I was completely in. The excitement must have showed up on my face, because Vincent's smile grew wider. Alright then, since you're so eager to go, shall we? He walked over to a wardrobe and opened it, and motioned for me to get inside. I was a little confused, but after all the things that I'd seen already, I was becoming a lot less confused as time went on, and merely just did as he asked. So, I hopped inside, the door closed, and the next thing I knew is I heard a whooshing and swirling all around me, and then I came out into a somewhat snowy field. My clothes had changed in the mere moments that I had taken. I was dressed in more warmer clothing. But then I heard a voice come from behind me. Who are you, dear child, who trespass upon the land? I turned around quickly and came face to face with what looked like a very pale looking elf. His hair as white as the snow. A cold chill filled my blood. It was quite a familiar feeling. It reminded me of the first time that I had met Vincent von Holt. I stuttered and stammered as I tried to get the words out of my mouth. Who are you? And I almost had a sense of deja vu as he took a bow and replied, I am Vincent von Holt, at your service. And who might you be, young fellow? It took a few moments to reply. I'm Matthew Cross. Ah, I see. I know who you are. Puzzled and quite confused. You do? Yes, you have been sent here to help me deliver a package, am I correct? I was quite stunned. Yes? Ah, then you have been sent by the goddess of shadows and vampires. It's a pleasure to meet you. I was expecting something a little bit more, but I never questioned the goddess. Right. Okay. It seemed that he did not have any actual knowledge of Vincent von Holt, which wasn't too surprising. But it was at this moment that I heard a voice come from behind me.
Hey Vince, is the sapling?
Far up in the trees. I turned around and looked, and there was a slender elf hanging up in the trees. He called down for us. He hopped quite a few feet down from the tree he was standing on, and then he introduced himself.
Nice to meet you. I'm Diogenes.
"What do you want, Diogenes?" Vincent said.
Oh, you know, gold, the souls of the humans, an elven princess to marry, something else to drink besides the shit that you brought, and, you know, for you to rejoin the Elfno state.
Vincent responded with, "I told you, Diogenes, I have no interest in joining your Elfno state. I may have been once an elf, but I am no longer an elf. And as it is, I have a very important package to deliver. Now, unless you want to help, please be out of my way."
Package. Oh, wait, no, I want to come too.
"Fine, you can come with. Now let's get going." With the banter over with, Diogenes, myself, and Vincent moved on. It was not too soon after we found ourselves out of the snowy wastelands and into a great thick forest. Trees were tall, taller than most oaks I've ever seen. The air was quite clear and crisp. I could hear the birds singing in the trees. It was quite peaceful. But then, all of a sudden, it went really quiet, and we stopped. And then all of a sudden, Diogenes and Vincent pulled me into cover. I was quite confused, but as I started to speak, they both hushed me. I merely pointed over in the direction of a small bush that was rattling. I'd expected some kind of large beast to pop out, but I was quite surprised when I saw a squirrel. Wait a moment, I thought to myself. Why are two grown men, well, elves, afraid of a squirrel? But my question was answered not too long after, as a bandit popped out of the bush, and he happened to see the squirrel. He seemed to freeze in place, and then turn on his heels in an attempt to run, but he didn't get more than a few steps before the squirrel was on him, tearing into him. I covered my eyes to hide them from the gruesome horror that was unfolding in front of me, but the screams of the man could be heard out. By the sounds of it, the squirrel was tearing him from limb. It was at this moment that both Dio and Vincent suggested that we make haste before the brave squirrel finds us. So we attempted to move quietly as we possibly could. But then all of a sudden, there was a sound of a small twig snapping under Dio's feet. We both looked back at Dio, but all I could see was the beady little red eyes of a race squirrel. And all I heard was, "Run!"
Oh, fuck! Run! No!
So we all ran as fast as we possibly could. After a few moments, the race squirrel was getting closer and closer.
Tree maiden, please save me. Tree maiden, please save me. Tree maiden, please save me. Fuck! Why did I fucking follow you, Vince? I didn't sign up to be followed by a goddamned wraith squirrel.
But off in the distance, we saw another man. He was savage looking, very dirty and unkempt, but fearsome all the same. He came at us yelling and screaming. And once the race squirrel had seen this man, he had stopped dead in his tracks and has turned away. Once he had made it to our position, he stopped, and he seemed to greet Vincent. They spoke in an odd language in which I did not quite comprehend. But after a few moments, Vincent spoke and explained to us that he was going to be our guide, and he was going to take us to whom the package needed to be delivered to. After what seemed like a few hours, we found ourselves in a small little village. It looked as if it had to have been some kind of barbarian village of some sort. Skins and furs of all sorts hung up all over the place. We were brought into the mead hall. Inside there was a very large fire, and quite a few large men that looked like they were having quite a good time. Vincent spoke to one of the larger of the men. Great War Chief of Volgoth, how have you been?
Hail, Vincent von Holt. Did you bring my weed? Yeah. Do you have it? You brought it? Oh, you did. Sweet. Is it the stuff that I call Vogthan Gold? Is it? It is. It is. Yes. Alrighty.
It seemed that him and Vincent had a repertoire with each other. Apparently they had been in business with each other for a while now. Yes, War Chief, we have gotten your Volgothan herbs as requested. At this, the War Chief seemed quite happy.
Oh, let me take a look at that. Let me see. That's that's way better than I expected. Let me open it up. Let me open it up. Oh, look at the crystals on that. Oh. He brought the good stuff, boys. We're gonna smoke really good already.
He had made his speech to the rest of the room. Drums started playing, and everyone started to drink and have merry. All seemed quite pleased. Odd. I'd never seen so many people get excited about a few herbs.